Alright guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another video on Talk Sooty. I hope you guys are doing well. But we're here to talk boxing once again. It's Undisputed versus Undisputed for the 168 straps. Yes, Canelo Alvarez is fighting Charlo on September 30th on PBC. And you're probably thinking, Undisputed? What? Jamal Charlo's not undisputed. No, you're right, Jamal Charlo isn't undisputed. He has actually decided in the past few days, according to Dan Raphael, that he's not going to be ready for this fight on September 30th versus Canelo Alvarez. So little brother, the 154 undisputed champion, Jamel Charlo, is moving up 2 weight categories to fight the super middleweight king, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Yes, this fight is happening 30th of September, and I can't wait for it. Absolutely, I can't wait for it. I mean, it's big move from Jamal Charlo. Like I said, I think everyone thought in the boxing industry that it was going to be Jamal Charlo fighting. So it was going to be the 160 champion moving up to 168. But it's not. It's the 154 champion moving up to 168, moving up 2 divisions. I mean, that is an incredible feat. Apparently, there's going to be no catch weight. He is going to be going up to the 168 full limit. So it's going to be very interesting fight. And that's another big boy indeed for boxing, which you can't complain. We've had a great year so far, and it's looking like we're going to have a brilliant 2023 in general, with the rumoured Saudi heavyweight fights later on in the year, with a few heavyweight fights in the summer, and then obviously your Crawford, Spencers, your Fulton and Nuis. There's great fights left, right and Gilbert, and all the fights that we've had so far already. I mean, it's been an absolute superb year, but let's talk about this fight. This is massive. This is the first Undisputed versus Undisputed in the men's 4-belt era. Obviously, we would have seen, I want to say a few weeks ago, but it might have been a month ago. That's how quick time is flying. Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron. That was obviously the first women's one, but first men's Undisputed versus Undisputed. Massive. Obviously, in the 4-belt era, it's absolutely huge fight. And to be honest, I was going to say whoever wins this is probably going to be number 1 pound for pound. I think it's only in the case of Jamal Charlo. I think if Jamal Charlo wins, he is going to be pound for pound number 1 for me. Being undisputed at 154, moving up 2 divisions to fight the 168 king, and becoming another undisputed, 2-time undisputed champion, 2-weight undisputed champion to add to that. I mean, that is absolutely an incredible feat. And I mean, if he can pull it off, hats off to you, because that is absolutely unbelievable if you do so. Obviously, I think Canelo will be the favourite because obviously he's the 168 king. But I mean, you never know. Jamal Charlo will have the size, the reach, probably not the weight, but the size and reach advantage. And because he's got that sort of frame where he's probably going to put the size on quite well. He's got that sort of frame to probably adjust to the weight gain quite well indeed. But I just think that's remarkable. And you never know. We could have a Rocky esque thing going on here. Ivan Drago-esque, you know what I mean? Little brother gets beat, so what they do next, they do big brother in the next fight, and then it could be some Rocky-esque story going on with these fights, but you never know. I mean, it's big fight central, and Canelo, you've got to tip the hat off, because he's moved to PBC and he's got a big fight, and there could be another couple of big fights waiting to happen. So yeah, fair play. Obviously, there's a few people wondering why he's fighting a champion who's 2 weights lower than him and not fighting David Benavidez. But I think this is a legacy fight, especially for Jamal Charlo. I think if he can do this, that is an unbelievable achievement, and fair play if he can do so, because it's just crazy what he's gonna attempt to do. Obviously, you've got people like Tim Tszyu who've called both Canelo and Charlo out, saying that Charlo's ducking himself and Canelo's ducking Benavidez, but I don't think you can ignore this. This is a big fight, and like I said, this could be a pound for pound number 1 moment if Jamal Charlo can get this done. So yeah, fair play to him. I mean, Derek James, though, he's gonna have a busy 2023. He's got Crawford Spence, July 29th, and then he's probably going to have AJ White August 12th or a couple of weeks after that. I don't know if that's going to get rescheduled the date-wise, but that fight looks like it's back on. Then he's going to have Jamel Charlo and Canelo. He's probably going to might even have Ryan Garcia in there as well, because obviously he's got him to his stable. He'll probably have Frank Martin, who'll probably fight at some point as well. So he's going to be a busy bee, which I don't know. That could be a bad thing, really. It could actually maybe affect some of his fighters' performance because he can't be fully focused with them. But we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, the first one will be July 29th, like I said, which is probably going to be pound for pound number one right now, with Crawford and Errol Spence. But hey, this fight that's just been announced could overtake that, especially if your name is Jamel Charlo. But that's not the only fight that's been announced. A week before this, a fight that we actually did a live stream on, Joe Joyce versus Zhili Zhang. I thought I'd just talk about that before we end this video. Yeah, that's been announced, the rematch, the weekend before, the 23rd of September. The rematch is on. It's in England again. It's not in China like some people thought it might have been. But it's going to be interesting for Joe Joyce. It's make or break, really. And if he loses that fight, there's no world title really in his pro career. I just don't see it happening. I mean, I don't think it'll happen anyway, personally, because I think he's just a little bit below the world pedigree. But if he does win this, maybe he gets an AJ or he does get a Usyk or a Tyson Fury or a Deontay Wilder. Obviously, some of those might have scheduled bouts later on in the year, but next year, you never know. The opportunities could be there for him. And then the same thing for Zhili Zhang. If he beats Joe Joyce again in the same fashion, he's probably got himself a Tyson Fury fight if the WBC actually want to pull the finger out and stop just holding up the division, basically, and not giving Fury a mandatory. Don't know why they think... Well, I know exactly why they're doing it, because they're hoping that Fury fights in Saudi so they can get that 3% tax that they do, which is a joke, but that's another story for another time. Them and the money. But yeah, that's another great fight that's been announced. I might even go to that, to be fair, because it is the 23rd of September, so it should be a decent time to go. But yeah, and two crackers there announced. But obviously the big boy, Undisputed versus Undisputed. What are your thoughts on the fight? Who do you think will win? I'm going to make an early prediction. I think Charlo's going to do it. Yeah, I just said it might drop. Boom. Charlo's going to do it. That's it from me. Sooty out.